Today we're going to dive into something pretty wild. We're talking about a 2,500-year-old mental algorithm, basically the source code for human suffering, that's just been decoded using artificial intelligence. This is where ancient wisdom smashes right into modern tech, and what it tells us about our own minds is, frankly, mind-blowing.
So just imagine this for a second. What if all our frustration, all our cravings, all our attachments, what if they aren't just random feelings? What if they're actually the result of a very specific, very predictable program that's running in your mind right now? A program so clear that an AI could actually map it out just by analyzing ancient text.
So how in the world did they crack this code? Well, they used two really clever tools. On one hand, you had experts doing a deep dive into the original language, Pali, to figure out the real psychological meaning of these ancient words. And on the other hand, they fed the entire text to an AI. The machine's job was just to map the mathematical relationships between words, with zero human bias, zero interpretation. Just the raw data.
And what did the AI find? It's incredible. It sorted every single key idea into three big groups, or clusters. Now, there's a cluster all about understanding reality and another about the path to freedom. But for now, we're going to focus on cluster A, because this is the starting point. This is the code that kicks off the whole loop of attachment and suffering in the first place.
So how does this whole loop even begin? Well, it all kicks off with a single, tiny mental action that happens in a split second. It's the very first line of code in the whole algorithm, and it's something you and I do, probably hundreds of times a day without ever noticing. It's the simple act of labeling something my style.
Now, the ancient word for this is sankhara, but let's just put the old school term aside for a minute. What this analysis shows is that it's a very modern action. Think of it like a mental stamp. You see an object, a person, or an idea, and your mind just stamps it as mine or my style and immediately files it away as a piece of your identity. It's like your brain is processing data in real time.
And this is where the AI's map revealed something absolutely wild. It found three key concepts that were clustered so closely together in the data, they were practically a single point. And what that suggests is that these aren't three separate steps in a process. No, they're one single, unified, lightning-fast reaction.
Now, on the surface, you'd think it's a sequence, right? First comes sankhara. You stamp something with that my style label. Then that creates tanha, this magnetic pull, this craving towards it. And finally, that leads to upadana. You grasp it, you cling to it, you make it part of you. So, stamping, pulling, grasping. Seems logical.
But here's the kicker from the AI's data. It's not a slow 1, 2, 3 process at all. The very instant your mind stamps something with that my style label, the magnetic pull and the mental grasping happen simultaneously. It's one single algorithm that fires off in less than a second. It's all one event.
Okay, so that's the theory. Kinda heavy, I know. But how does this algorithm actually run our day-to-day lives? Let's make this concrete. We're going to look at 4 super common, everyday scenarios to see this code in action. This is where it's going to click.
First example, you're at the mall. You see a rack with 100 shirts on it. To your brain, it's all just cloth. But then your eye catches one, and your mind just goes, ooh, that's my style. Boom, that's the stamp. All of a sudden, it's not just cloth anymore. It's special. You're pulled to it, and when you buy it, you grasp it as mine. Now, if someone spills coffee on it, you get genuinely angry, right? Because it's not just a shirt, it's become an extension of you.
Or how about this one? You're scrolling through Instagram or Pinterest, planning your dream home. You start saving images, stamping them. This is my future style. That's the sankhara. Suddenly, the magnetic pulse starts, and your perfectly fine apartment now feels shabby, not good enough. You grasp that future vision so tightly that if the perfect sofa you wanted is sold out, you feel actual stress, almost like a personal failure.
And believe it or not, this algorithm runs on people too. It's crazy. You meet someone new and your mind might instantly stamp them, nope, not my style. From that exact moment on, you are magnetically pulled to find any piece of evidence that confirms your initial judgment. You grasp onto it and every single thing they do gets filtered through that negative lens. You've literally created a prison for them in your own mind.
And finally, our beliefs. This one is huge. We find an idea, maybe a political view, and we stamp it, this is my style of thinking. The algorithm fires. We are then pulled only towards news and people that validate our view, and we grasp onto it like it's a core part of who we are. So when someone challenges that idea, it doesn't feel like a debate. It feels like a personal attack. Okay, so seeing this code run over and over in our lives can feel
A little hopeless, right? Like we're just puppets. But the data also points to the off switch, a way to deactivate the whole algorithm. And the best part is, it's shockingly simple.
So here's the most important takeaway. You don't have to fight the craving. You don't need to wrestle with the feeling of attachment after you're already caught up in it. That's way too hard. The most powerful place to intervene is right at the very, very beginning. The whole key is to just catch your mind in the act of that initial stamping.
And the solution itself is just as simple as the problem. All you have to do is notice the moment it happens and just say to yourself, I'm piling up data right now, or there I go, stamping that as my style. That simple moment of awareness is like hitting the escape key on a computer program. If you don't apply that first stamp, the pull and the grasp have nothing to run on. They just lose all their power.
So really, the big insight here is that we are constantly programming our own little mental prisons, moment by moment, with every single My Style stamp we create. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What My Style stamp is your mind programming for you right this very second?